We got some very interesting news today. Over at Screen Rant, they have an article up where they are talking about how the Galaxy of Heroes video game is introducing a new Jedi faction called the Jedi Vanguard. This group consists of Jedi who were dedicated by defending key locations, especially the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. While some members, like Kelleran Beck, fit naturally due to their established roles in Jedi defense, others, such as Barriss Offee, are more surprising given their complicated history. The inclusion of Qui-Gon Jinn suggests that the Vanguard isn't just about physical defense, but also about recognizing and countering emerging threats. The article goes on to speculate whether or not Lucasfilm will integrate this new faction into current canon, noting that Star Wars often borrows from its expanded universe material. Well, not all the good stuff, apparently. So many of these Jedi logically fit into the role of this new faction called, again, Jedi Vanguard. Kelleran Beck, Shakti, and Plo Koon were always known as protectors. And, if you remember from Mandalorian Season 3, Beck actually is the one who rescues Grogu. He was portrayed by Ahmed Best, who also was the actor who portrayed Jar Jar Binks. Then we have Aayla Secura, Luminary Unduli, and Kit Fisto, who also fit this because they were strong Jedi warriors, though they were not primarily stationed at the temple. Qui-Gon Jinn's inclusion makes a ton of sense if the Vanguard is also about identifying larger threats. Now remember, Qui-Gon is the one who was first alerted and felt the return of the Sith. Then we have Barriss Offee. So this one's interesting because the involvement of her is a little ironic considering her betrayal of the Jedi Order. Jocasta Nu's on the list, and remember, she is the librarian, or if you want to call her the guardian of Jedi knowledge, definitely fits in. But Jedi Ithkoth's later rejection of the Order could be a reason for his exclusion. Now, it's interesting. I did just go through all of the names, but like I said, we're going to kind of break this thing down a little bit, and I'll give you my thoughts on whether or not I believe they should be included or not. Before I do that, do me a massive favor. If you guys can just smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Now, we're going to break down what this Jedi Vanguard actually means. We all know Jedi is a force-wielding peacekeeper of the galaxy. Vanguard, the definition, is a group that leads the way in defense or action, often the first line of resistance. So when we add these words together, Jedi Vanguard suggests an elite force within the Order tasked with being the first responders to threats, particularly those targeting Jedi strongholds. Alright, first up, Aayla Secura. So she was a Twi'lek Jedi Knight and a skilled warrior who served as a general during the Clone Wars. She was known for her agility and combat skills, often leading clone troopers into battle on the front lines. She fought in multiple campaigns, including the Battle of Geonosis and the Battle of Quell, where she helped rescue Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. During Order 66, her clone troopers, led by Commander Bly, betrayed her on the jungle planet of Felucia. She was shot multiple times in the back, dying instantly without a chance to defend herself. Initially a Jedi healer and the apprentice of Luminara Unduli, Barriss Offee fought in several Clone War battles, including the Battle of Geonosis. However, she became disillusioned with the Jedi Order, believing they had become warmongers. She orchestrated the bombing of the Jedi Temple and framed Ahsoka Tano for her crime. Her actions were eventually uncovered, and she was arrested by the Republic. Now, we see in Tales of the Empire that she ends up escaping. She works with the Sith, including the Grand Inquisitor, and eventually then turns back to the light, and we don't know 100% whether or not she actually dies or not. Now here's a little tidbit for you in case you didn't know. In the original cut of Revenge of the Sith, Barriss Offee was supposed to have a very brutal execution. Offee's scene started with her taking on a small army of battle droids on her own. She seemingly had the upper hand and was met with backup from the Republic's all-terrain tactical enforcers, better known as ATTE. But rather than firing on the droids, it fired on her instead, point blank. The massive blaster bolts appeared to have killed her instantly, but that didn't stop the ATTE from making sure she was dead by nonchalantly stepping on her body. In canon, many found this to be the most brutal death in Order 66. Not only was she shot in the back, but they continued to fire on her. Now eventually, this scene was cut from the film, and this worked out very well for Offee because we ended up seeing her in the Clone Wars and she got a much larger arc, and then again she reappears in Tales of the Empire. Eve Koth was a Jedi Master and member of the Jedi Council. He was known for his strong resistance to pain and his formidable lightsaber skills. He was captured and tortured by General Grievous, but later rescued by the Jedi. He ended up leaving the Jedi Order before the Clone Wars ended, eventually settling down and starting a family. However, after Order 66, Darth Vader and the Inquisitors hunted him down. He was killed while trying to protect his wife and child, who were both taken by the Empire. Ima Gundy was a Jedi general who led Republic forces in a desperate attempt to defend Ryloth from Separatist occupation. He and his clone troopers fought bravely to protect the Twi'lek civilians while awaiting reinforcements. Despite their best efforts, they were ultimately overwhelmed by Separatist forces. Ima Gundy held off the enemy to give the refugees time to escape while sacrificing himself in a last stand against battle droids. Jocasta Nu served as the chief librarian of the Jedi Archives and was responsible for maintaining vast amounts of Jedi knowledge. She survived Order 66 and attempted to rebuild the Jedi Order by preserving critical information on Force-sensitive children. However, she was hunted down by Darth Vader and the Grand Inquisitor. She tried to destroy a Jedi holocron to prevent it from falling into Imperial hands, but was ultimately killed by Vader after putting up a fierce resistance. Kelleran Beck, a Jedi Master and expert in training younglings, he was best known for his exceptional combat skills and ability to guide the young Jedi. During Order 66, he played a critical role in protecting Grogu, helping the youngling escape Coruscant with the aid of sympathetic Naboo forces. His fate after Grogu's escape remains unknown, but he likely continued to evade the Empire's forces. Kit Fisto was a Jedi Master with a charismatic personality and strong underwater combat skills. Kit Fisto was a skilled lightsaber duelist and a hero of the Clone Wars. He fought in several key battles including Mon Cala and Geonosis. When Mace Windu led a group of Jedi to arrest Chancellor Palpatine, Fisto was one of the Jedi Masters who confronted Darth Sidious. However, he was quickly struck down by the Sith Lord, dying with little time to react. Luminara Unduli was a Jedi Master and probably one of the most respected Jedi of her time. She was known for discipline, wisdom, and mastery of lightsaber combat. She fought in several Clone War campaigns, often leading troops alongside her apprentice, Barriss Offee. After Order 66, she was captured by the Empire and used to bait to lure surviving Jedi into a trap. The Empire eventually executed her, keeping her remains in stasis to further deceive Jedi fugitives. Plo Koon was a Keldor Jedi Master and Jedi Council member. Plo Koon was a highly respected leader with a strong sense of justice. He discovered and recruited Jedi like Ahsoka Tano and was also a skilled pilot, often leading missions in his starfighter. He was known for his deep connection to the Force and his compassion for the clones. During Order 66, his clone pilot squadron turned on him, shooting down his starfire as he perished in the fiery explosion. Shaak Ti was a Jedi Master and a member of the Council. She played a key role in overseeing the training of clone troopers on Kamino and fought in several Clone War battles. In Star Wars Legends, she was killed by General Grievous during the attack on Coruscant. However, in canon, her final fate is ambiguous, though she was likely slain during Order 66 while defending the Jedi Temple. Finally, we have Qui-Gon Jinn. A Jedi Master deeply attuned to the living Force, Qui-Gon Jinn often clashed with the Jedi Council due to his independent nature. He was the first to recognize the return of the Sith and identified Anakin Skywalker as the Chosen One. During the Battle of Naboo, he dueled Darth Maul in Theed Palace alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi. While Qui-Gon fought skillfully, he was fatally wounded by Maul's lightsaber. His death was a pivotal moment that set Anakin's destiny into motion. In the end, the Jedi Vanguard represents the best and most dedicated guardians of the Jedi Order, whether through battle, wisdom, or the pursuit of knowledge. Their sacrifices shaped the fate of the galaxy, and their stories continue to inspire generations of Star Wars fans. As Star Wars expands its lore, the possibility of seeing the Vanguard explored in canon opens exciting new storytelling opportunities. Out of all the Jedi on this list, the only two I really have a major issue with, and it's more or less because they were never 100% all in, is Barriss Offee and Eeth Koth. Both of them ended up leaving the Order, although they ended up returning back to the light. But again, I think that this Vanguard faction is all about putting your life in front of others. Again, because you are the front of the line. If the Jedi Vanguard were officially brought into live action or animation, which Jedi story would you want to see explored the most, and why? Let me know all of that down in the comments. Guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.